Hi, everyone. Welcome to this very special session from European Parliament's office here in Zagreb, Croatia. We have really special occasion today for this event. I'm speaking in English, so obviously it's an international event. We are having today with us our colleagues, friends and partners from three other European countries. We are gathered together around the program called European Ambassador School Program of the European Parliament. And the occasion of today's discussion is what you can see behind my back are the devastating earthquakes that hit Croatia twice last year. First on this day, 22nd of March. So it's first year since the big devastating earthquake that hit Zagreb. And the second one hit Petrinja, Sisak, Glina. So the area which is 50 to 70 kilometers far from Zagreb, but also Zagreb felt its consequences. You can see some devastating photos behind me, meaning that also our ambassador schools were hit by the earthquake. You can see some. You can also see the EPAS plaque on the wall of the school from Petrinja. And today we will discuss this situation with the schools coming from France, Spain, Croatia, and Ireland. Together with 8 schools from European countries and 2 schools from Croatia, we will be joined by MEPs Dedrick Clun from Ireland, Tonino Picula from Croatia, and Irene Tolere from France. But I won't be talking much today. And here with me is also my colleague Andrea from Zagreb office. We were supported in this event with our colleagues Katrin, Teresa and Margaret from other European Parliament's offices from these 3 countries. And as an introduction, we will hear a bit more from our students Jana Pavicic from Petrinja and Neva Šavorić from Zagreb, so from 2 schools that were hit strongly by these earthquakes. So Jana and Neva, please go ahead. You can give us a short introduction to the event, and then we will move on to today's discussion.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jana, and I attend Srednja škola Petrinja from Croatia. First of all, we would like to say thank you for letting us take part in this project. We are really thankful for this opportunity. As you may know, our hometown Petrinja was destructed in an earthquake on 29 December in 2020. Unfortunately, our high school was also destructed, and we had to find a new place so we could attend school. Right now, we are in Jabukovac. It's a village near Petrinja, and it takes us approximately 30 minutes to get here by bus, and we go here every day. But for now, just the students that will graduate this year. Thankfully, everyone is safe and healthy, but some of us lost our home, and we are still recovering from everything we've been through. And it's hard because we have daily earthquakes reminding us of what happened. Our teachers are doing their best to make it easier for us, but in June we have a Matura exam. I'm not sure that everyone know what that is, so I'll try to explain it. It's a set of exams we have to take at the end of our high school education. We have to take exams in Croatian, English, and math, and we can choose other subjects such as biology, art, chemistry, physics, etc. So it's actually the most important part of our high school education because if we do it right, we'll get into our dream college, and if we don't, there's a big chance that we won't. So it's really hard to be ready for something like that, especially under these circumstances. And but I'm sure that we will do our best because everyone around us is trying to make it easier for us, and they're trying to do everything in their power to help us. And there are 10 of us in group for European Parliament from our school, 9 students and our mentor. And well, most of us will graduate this year, and the rest of them will stay. And we hope that we will get new members next year. And as I already said, we are very thankful for this opportunity, and we are happy that we had a chance to participate in this kind of event. Bye.
Thank you so much for sharing your let's say like experience or your emotions regarding the last months. Let's hear now another experience from the earthquake and what's the situation now. So Neva, are you with us?
Hi, I'm Neva. I'm from Gornja Gradska High School from Zagreb. I have Lucia is here with me. We have suffered through earthquakes a lot. Our whole high school has been completely destroyed. It's unusable for a couple of years till it's fixed. And basically everything that was fixed from the first earthquake in March last year fell apart again when the Petrinja earthquake hit in December. So we will be relocated for a little while. We are currently in another high school here in Zagreb. English. I'm sorry.
So we suffered that earthquake, and it was really terrible. And all over Zagreb, we saw pictures of fans of Soccer, yes.
It's a group called Bad Blue Boys. They got
helped
the same second when the earthquake happened and started helping around the city, cleaning it up.
And mostly in hospitals.
Yes, taking pregnant women and their kids out of the hospitals, because our hospitals are also pretty old.
And yes,
we are now in a different high school. It's been a lot. We also have to take the Matura exam. We never know, will we come to school tomorrow, how it's gonna look like, will we be online, will we wake up with another earthquake? There was after the big earthquakes, of course, there were a bit of a small ones also, but they also wake you up, and they also happen every time in the morning around 5 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for inviting us to this project. We are really happy to contribute and to talk to everybody from all over Europe.
Thank you so much. There will be a chance to do this later on when you have the discussion with other ambassadors junior from all over Europe. And we are very happy today that we can open further this discussion by 2 interventions of 2 MEPs. This will be Mr. Tonino Picula from the S&D group from Croatia and Madame Irène Tolleret from France, a Renew group. Later on, we will also have Madame Deirdre Clune from the EPP, an Irish MEP. She is with us, but she will join us in about 20 minutes to give her introduction, her 1-minute speech. But for now, I would like to ask Mr. Picula to open the floor and show us what it means to deliver a 1-minute speech like you do at the European Parliament. Go ahead, Mr. Picula, and welcome, of course.
Thank you. Thank you for organizing this meeting and inviting me to participate. I want to congratulate you for incentive and idea to gather friends to support people in the need. The devastating earthquakes that hit Croatia last year, first the one in Zagreb in March, and then one in Petrinja and Banja region in December, revealed more than a few fallings on behalf of the Croatian state and some on the European level. First, it showed that Croatia has let its natural disaster relief system go unattended and that we didn't have the sufficient material goods, such as temporary housing, on disposal. This was especially clear after the Petrinja earthquake. Secondly, it showed that in times of crisis, the citizens were able to organize quickly and provide relief and assistance informally. Also, that all financial assistance from the EU is not sufficient if the mechanisms for investment into earthquakes resilience, they are not taking care of the natural level through long-term plans for reconstruction of both residential and commercial buildings. It also showed that Croatia can count on its EU and non-EU friends and neighbors in time of need, both through informal help and through the civil protection mechanism. Throughout the crisis, the EU has provided help from the EU Solidarity Fund, and more will be available through Recovery Fund. But newer, less developed members might feel that the funding will just be less than completely sufficient to overcome the challenges with as much ease as the more developed members. That is where solidarity is usually most under question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pizzula. And if we have with us Madame Irène Tolleré, we would love to hear from her.
Just, I have a little problem, so I will be with you in exactly 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. Maybe we could just open a bit more with Mr. Pizzula, and Marco has a question for him while we wait.
While we wait for our MEP Toleret to join us, let's just take one question for MEP Pizzula from our student Iva Šimić from Petrinja School. Iva, if you are ready, we know that you have a question for the MEP, so you can jump in. And if not, then we can do it right after the MEP Toleret.
Thank you. Hello. So my question is, when can the areas affected by the December 29th earthquake expect funds from the European Union Solidarity Fund? And how will the European Union monitor where the money has been spent?
Thank you, Eva. Thank you for an important question. I'll try to reply to you with some digits, some numbers. The European Union has provided almost 700 million euro of emergency funds from European Union Solidarity Fund. This money has to be budgeted and contracted in the next year and a half, better to say 18 months. Otherwise, unfortunately, it won't be available anymore. That's the rule. It's all in the hands of the government now, the Ministry of Civil Engineering and municipalities to program and direct the funds. European Union will conduct ex post evaluation of the European Unity Solidarity Fund. So everything must be by the book if we want to overcome some administration problems. We need to be very careful and react instantly and be very precise to follow the rules, how to spend this a pretty large sum of the money, almost 700 million euros.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzula. I believe Eva is also thanking you for the answer. And now we go back to Madame Irène Tolleré, who will now deliver her 1 minute speech. Go ahead, Madame Tolleré.
Sorry very much for the little delay. I was a bit late on my schedule. So I would like to thank all the people who have created this talk today, because I am really convinced that solidarity is a grounding value of the European Union. For decades, European countries helped one another in times of crisis. Today, this solidarity is probably stronger than ever it was. We were able to see it with the COVID-19 crisis. Even though the pandemic is a very tough moment for most European countries, this crisis definitely showed how needed an European solidarity is. An example of this is that we reinforced the European Civil Protection Mechanism by creating Rescue EU in March 2020, which is an additional reserve of medical equipment. Without European Union and European solidarity during the pandemic, we would not have been able to treat patients regardless of their nationality. We would not have been able to send teams of doctors from one member state to the other, or to make available intensive care units to patients from member states. Thanks to European solidarity, we shared medical supplies. We repatriated EU citizens from some countries. Our solidarity helped us to go through these difficult times together, and together we are stronger. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And now back to the questions from students.
And now back to the questions. We will go back again to MEP Piccola because we know there is a question coming from France. Enzo Grelot, sorry if we won't be pronouncing your names correctly today, but we know you also have a question for MEP Piccola, so please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Enzo. I am 16. I am a student at Gaston Barré Vocational School in Leurs. I study logistics. This is my question. Following a natural disaster, how is European solidarity organized? And who decide when and how to intervene? How is aid and solidarity set up from a logistical point of view? Sorry for my pronunciation. Sorry.
Thank you for your will to ask the questions, and I'll try to reply to you. Following the request for assistance through mechanisms, the Emergency Response Coordination Center mobilizes assistance or expertise. That center monitors events around the globe 24/7 and ensure a rapid deployment of emergency support through a direct link with the national civil protection authorities. And specialized teams and equipment such as forest firefighter planes, search and rescue, and the medical teams can be mobilized at short notice for the deployment inside but outside Europe. Satellite maps produced by Copernicus Emergency Management Service also support civil protection operations. Copernicus provides timely and precise geospatial information that is useful to delineate affected areas and plan disaster relief operations. In developing countries, civil protection assistance typically goes hand in hand with EU humanitarian aid. Experts in both fields work closely together to ensure the most coherent analysis and response, particularly in response to complex emergencies. That mechanism also intervenes in marine pollution emergencies. The center can quickly mobilize oil recovery capacity and expertise from the participating states and European Maritime Safety Agency. So there is a way how to intervene and develop and deploy help in a short notice.
Thank you. And there is a last question for you, this time coming from Spain. Elena Perez, if you're with us, you also have a question for MEP Piccola, and then we will move to MEP Tolere.
Okay. Dobar dan. I'm Elena Perez from Spain. And this is our first question. Regarding the earthquake, what type of help has the European Union provided Croatia with so far? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Yeah, what to say? Emergency assistance react immediately after the earthquake in Zagreb. Also after the Petrinja earthquake, that kind of emergency assistance also took place. Moreover, 15 countries sent immediate assistance, including housing containers, winter tents, sleeping bags, bed and electric heaters. For your information, Croatia had already been hit by strong earthquakes twice that caused over 11.5 billion euro of damage. To help the country deal with the devastating effects of that earthquake, as I said, European Parlement and other European institutions reacted fast and made almost 700 million euros available from European Union Solidarity Fund. All in all, a lot of helps coming from different sides.
Thank you, Mr. Picula. And we will stay with Elena in Spain. Elena, you have a question for MEP Toleré, so please go ahead.
Yes, bon après-midi. Our second question is, what were some of the challenges that the European Union may have faced throughout the support process?
Thank you very much for your question. That is very interesting. When we have a natural disaster, the two main challenges that we face is to be quick and to be adequate. Sometimes it is difficult to do both at the same time, because it takes time to assess what are the real consequences of a catastrophic event. It also takes time to provide appropriate assistance. Thanks to a reform of the EU Solidarity Fund in the recent years, the EU can be faster in providing aid. It is now even possible to make advance payments to the member states in need.
Thank you so much. From Spain, we will go back to France. Nathan, if you are with us, we heard you also have a question. So please, you can go now.
Hello, my name is Nathan. I am 16. What is useful of the European civil protection?
Merci, Nathan. Thank you very much for this question, Nathan. The goal of the EU civil protection mechanism is to strengthen cooperation between the EU member states and 6 participating countries. That's Iceland, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Norway, Serbia, and Turkey, when a disaster happens. Concretely, how does it work? When there is a scale of emergency that overwhelms the response capacities of a country, then it can request the assistance via the European Civil Protection Mechanism. Then the affected country asks for help to the Emergency Response Coordination Center. Then the member states and participating states offer assistance such as personnel and equipment, and the Emergency Response Coordination Center coordinates the deployment and delivery of assistance, and it may even deploy EU civil protection experts. It's not known, but it works very well. And in 2020, the mechanism was activated more than 90 times. It shows that it's a very important tool for the European solidarity. In the south of France, we share our planes that fight against incendie. And it's very important that this tool perform, because otherwise we would not be able to cope alone.
Thank you so much. We will stay in France with the French schools. There is a question for our MEP Picula. Ryan, are you with us?
Hello, this is from Vocational School Auguste Pardonnet from France. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So my question is, do you think that this incident has awakened a momentum of solidarity within the country, within Croatia, and within European Union in general? And my second question is all European countries is going to participate in the reconstruction?
Thank you. Mr. Picula?
Thank you for the question. Yes, every catastrophe and the crisis, in a way, wakes up solidarity. It's in human nature to help those who are in need. In Croatia, only hours after Zagreb and the Banja earthquakes, many of citizens rushed to help and even organize themselves better and faster than official state structures. Just one example, chefs whose restaurants are closed due to pandemic organized themselves within one afternoon and started to cook meals for the people after earthquake. It's not in human nature to watch other people suffer, to watch destruction and do nothing. You need to act, and that's the solidarity.
Thank you, Mr. Picula, and thank you to our French friends. Now we fly a bit. We go a bit to Ireland, to be more precise, to Dunamas College. They have a question for Madame Tolleré there. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Ireland? Hello.
Yes, we can. I'm Daniel Loughlin. I'm 15, and the question is, what kind of laws cause the most controversy in the lawmaking process in the European Parliament, the passing process?
Thank you for the question, Madame Tolleré.
I do not totally make the link between European solidarity and what kind of laws make the most controversy in the European Parliament. So I'm a bit nonplussed. I think that all the law where we can have a controversy makes it. So the ones that are emotional, maybe less than practical, it's more difficult. Or on that.
Thank you. So emotional or practicality when it becomes more difficult. Thank you so much. We go back to Croatia again. We go to Petrinja and to the student Nika Vujasic. She has a question for MEP Picula. Nika, go ahead.
Hello. So, since we have been living in completely changed circumstances for a year now, and in addition to pandemic, we have also unfortunately been affected by the earthquakes. So my question is, in which areas or where do you think young people will feel the most consequences on their lives and their mental health? Will it be related to education, socialization, or even physical health due to gym closures and training bans and restrictions?
Thank you, Nika. Yes, you can tell me the answer. I'm joking, but you know better than me what and how affects your everyday life. Yes, to be serious, of course, that everything we go through, everything we experience changes as persons. So-called new normal will never be normal, but we also need to accommodate. You know the saying, when life gives you lemon, make a lemonade. Gyms were closed, but parks, woods, and nature were not closed. Consequences of life in 2020 and 2021 will be, I'm sure, also subject of scientific research, serious one. For all of us, even if it seems hard, sometimes too hard, we need to find a way to be, first of all, good people to ourselves and to others. And solidarity, we mentioned many times during this conversation, which was shown in pandemic and in the earthquakes, shows that we are able to do so, to act as a human.
Thank you so much. Mr. Pitula, we fly in our minds, of course, because the pandemic has locked us pretty much to the ground. We go to France once more. We have a student there, Nolwenn Botra, who would also like to ask you a question from Chalon, France. Are you with us, Nolwenn? Can you hear us? I think we will skip this one then. We have one more question for MEP Pitsula. This one is from Ireland again. That's from Maynooth Post-Primary School, and they will pose their question now.
Hello, my name is Mia Daly, and my question is, what difference has EU aid meant to lives of the young people affected by the earthquake in Croatia?
Mr. Pitsula, did you manage to hear the question?
I guess something about the aid Croatia provided to Petrinja, I guess, or
that's right,
Zagreb.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. What to say? Everything which was possible, firefighters and the military were deployed to clean the ruins and secure the area. Civil rescue forces were sent to help citizens. Red Cross was delivering humanitarian aid, meaning food, blankets, heaters. Money donations were collected and distributed to those in the need. Temporary housing facilities were also organized. And after Petrinja earthquake, because of the high risk of corona infection, immunization priorities were changed, and all of those who were helping and the civilians from Banja region could receive vaccine against COVID. Even today in the region, you still have organized forces to help the people in need.
Thank you, Mr. Pitsula. And we have a question for Madame Tolere, this time from Croatia. It's from Adrian Gregurincic from Petrinja again.
Hello. My question is, why didn't other countries in the EU act like Sweden when they didn't have a complete lockdown? And can we expect the pandemic to be tamed if it changes between lockdown and normal? Old normal have bad consequences for human behavior. People are more and more are less and less trusting to authorities because of changing and unclear rules.
Thank you very much for this question. To be totally honest with you, there was no country inside the EU or outside the EU that was prepared for this pandemic. But then there was a different pressure of the coronavirus at the start. And now we have the vaccine. And so I really believe that every government has tried to handle it as well as possible. But we learn as we live. And what we know today about the COVID-19 and the different solutions is not at all what we knew last year. So I understand what you say about people being less and less trusting about the authorities. But who do you want to trust, really? Because the vaccine and all this arrived because there was the authorities that fought to find a solution. So it's not the best solution, but these are the only solutions that we have. So we really need to learn to live with this COVID-19 and not believe that it will stop tomorrow, because it won't. So we need to learn to live with it and to open the economy and to open the universities with it. But what I can really assure you is that this pandemic has showed us that we need European coordination. And more than European coordination, we need global coordination, because a virus knows no border.
Thank you, Madame Tolleret, for your answer and your vision. I hope Adrian is happy with the answer. But now we will do a little exchange, an exchange of MEPs, namely. We will unfortunately have Mr. Pizzula leave us at some point, but we will have MEP Deirdre Clune join the discussion. So I just wanted to check with Mr. Pizzula if he had any final remarks for this session that our young people would want to be inspired by. Mr. Pizzula.
Thank you. Thank you so much once again for inviting me. I would like, of course, to thank all participating schools, students, and teachers. What to say, in times of crisis, and now in Croatia, we are facing and experiences at least two of them, Corona crisis and consequences of devastating earthquakes. Solidarity is very much needed. A couple of solidarities, types of solidarities. First of all, immediate solidarity between people, to help to those close to you, needing help, to your family member, to your neighbor, to your friend. And the second, solidarity among the nations, to help communities. We are sharing a common union, to be a better union, to raise cohesion. That's why European Union has civil protection mechanism and EU Solidarity Fund we spoke about. In the end, there is no more or less important help. Sometimes a nice chat and showing humanity is an equal important as donation of housing container. So as a Croatian members of European Parliament, I think once more time to schools from France, Ireland and Spain showing interest and help to their Croatian friends. Be good people, show solidarity, and we all hope that we will need less catastrophic events to remind us for need for solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzula, for these wise words and for joining us today. We wish you a productive rest of the afternoon. And now over to Marco.
Thank you, Andrea. And I'm happy to introduce you MEP Deirdre Clune from Ireland. Madame Clune, are you with us?
I am with you. Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Connection
so
okay.
Would you please give us a short introduction speech, and then we also have several questions for you, so we will have an opportunity to discuss it.
Very good. I'll keep it short. But thank you. I've been tuned in there and listening to the contributions. And I first of all like to thank Jana and Neva at the beginning for giving us really informative insight into how they're coping with the aftermath of the earthquakes last March and in December. And it's great to see in many ways that their education is still a priority for them, for their schools. To ensure that they've finished their education or that they continue with it. I think that's really important. It's great to see schools from Spain, Ireland, Croatia obviously as well. All of you here with us today in France. So great to be participating with you. And I think you've had from the discussion so far an example of how Europe can work together. It's not always perfect, but it certainly is important that we can work together. 27 member states now. I'm coming from Ireland, which is a smaller country. Germany, France, Italy, Spain, others being larger countries. But I'd always say, and when I visit the schools and speak about Europe, Europe is about, every member state has one voice, and there's no country bigger or smaller than others. It's all about working together for the betterment of European citizens. And I think that's really, really important. And certainly where we've seen issues such as the devastating earthquake that you have had in Croatia, it's really important that Europe plays a strong role there as it has done, and continue to do it, because I think what we've seen is that if there's still a lot of work to do in bringing your communities back together again. But really happy be with you today and to engage, to listen, and to try and give my insight as best I can in answering your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madame Kloon. Thank you for this short introduction and for your words of support and solidarity. We have few questions for you. I mean, not we here in the studio, but our students. We will go to France now, to Lycée Gaston Bach de Nord. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it good, but you know who you are. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, my name is Theo. This is my question. What amount of European fund is provided for an emergency and do all countries provide the same aid?
Great. Thank you for that. Well, I suppose the way the European budget system operates is that it's decided, the budget is decided on for a 7-year time period. So we have there is a period from 2014 to 2020 that's finished up now. We're now moving into the next 7 years until 2027. And there's funding allocated in that program, in that 7 years, to be spent by the Commission under the guidance of the member states. So in the last 7 years, the funding available for humanitarian aid, and that was 7.1 billion euro. Next time round, it's up to be 10.3 billion euro. So a significant increase, and that reflects, that there are more demands and more requests, not requests, but there are more emergency situations that really do need to be responded to. And the budget of the Parliament, of the Commission and the European Community is interesting in that every member state, not every member state contributes. It's based on how well off the country is, their GDP, their gross domestic product, as we say. It's just measuring the strength of their economies. The stronger your economy, the more you contribute, and the weaker economies then don't contribute. In fact, they receive money, and we would say, and that's all in the effort of cohesion, solidarity, to bring up the weaker countries, that we can all benefit, and all citizens can be equal investment across the 27 member states, to bring everybody to the same standard. So just to answer your question, really 7.1 billion is the funding for humanitarian aid, for rescue, and every member state, it depends on the strength of their economy as to how much they contribute, but the budget comes from all the member states, it could be said.
Thank you so much for your answer. And we have more questions coming up for you. There's one from Ireland, actually, from the Loreto Secondary School, Clonmel, Tipperary. I'm sure they will be loud and clear. Go ahead and ask your question, dear students.
Hello, my name is Kira, and our question is, will the EU funds given to Croatia be used to help with the coronavirus situation there as well?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Well, certainly the EU funds that we're talking about today, the 700 million that's been mentioned by their MEP, have given directly for the disaster fund. But every country is going to benefit from additional funding to help with the coronavirus. In fact, there's been an emergency situation, an emergency funding provision to be agreed, that whereby every member state will get more funding based on how difficult the coronavirus has been in their own country. I mean, some countries, Italy has received a lot of money, Croatia as well, but it all depends on how badly affected the country was, and that again is in line with solidarity, to say, just to make sure that every country is helped as best we can. There's been efforts as well to ensure that no country is left without vaccines. You know, the European Union produces all vaccines, or not produces, but buys vaccines for all the member states together, and then it's distributed based on their population. In Ireland, we're 1% of the population, we get 1% of the vaccines that are produced. So every member state is helped in the same way, depending on depending on their population, and depending on how difficult the coronavirus has been, and the effect it has had on their population.
Thank you for your answer. And thank you to our Irish friends for the question. We go back to Petrinja in Croatia and to our student Nika Vujasic. Nika has a question for MEP Clun.
Hello. So my question is, what measures will the European Union take to protect the mental health of youth, young people?
Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you. I think everybody's very aware that young people are finding this, particularly the times we're in at the moment, very, very difficult. And their their mental health needs to be protected and minded. In fact, well, first of all, I'd say that not all the member states are responsible for their own healthcare, not for their own healthcare, and that's the way the treaties were set up originally. Member states want to be responsible and involved in their citizens' healthcare. But more and more, Europe has a role to play in terms of public health, and certainly mental health is extremely important to the health of young people. In fact, this month we've passed a resolution on children's rights, young people's rights, and asking the Commission to ensure that all member states respect that and recognise that young people are particularly vulnerable at this time, and we want to have a full mapping of how young people are suffering at these times and how their mental health has been affected, and also to make sure that we have enough services in place, because it's one thing recognising the difficulties that young people have and will have, but you need enough services in terms of organisations, training of professionals, and particularly dedicated to the specific needs of young people.
Thank you so much for your insights, MEP Clun. And now we go back to the interactive part, or fourth, I would say, to the interactive part of the session, while we kindly ask our MEPs Toleré and Clun to definitely join the discussion at their preference. Marco, go ahead.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Madame Clun, for your answers. And now let's go to the part where we will have direct exchange between students from Croatia and from other European EPAS schools. First, we will start with the Spanish schools. They will have an interaction with the Croatian schools. So with us today is student Laia Rodriguez. We heard that she has some questions for our Croatian EPAS members. So, Laia, please go ahead.
My first question is, how has your everyday life been affected by the earthquake?
Thank you. Is there anyone from Petrinja or Zagreb willing to pick up this one?
Hey.
Hello,
Again, me.
My name is Hana, and I go to high school in Petrinja. As you all, can I speak?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes. Please go ahead, yeah.
As you already know, our school was disrupted by the earthquake in December. And when that happened, I was really scared for my family, because I didn't know what would happen after my mother and grandparents lost their home in the town center. I left my house 3 days after the first earthquake at Monday. I went to Velika Gorica to my friend because I couldn't be in my own house because it got damaged, and I was there for more than a month. Our school was online, but now we are here in Jabukovac. I'm thankful that all my family members and my friends are okay, and in that moment we all forgot about the COVID. Because our instinct was to survive that and to stay alive. We were all scared, but we had to adapt to that new situation.
Thank you, Hannah, for sharing this information with us. We have, yes, please, Spain, go ahead.
Here in Zagreb, well, our everyday lives have changed since March, since the first earthquake. Thankfully, we were already on school online because of COVID for a week, so we were prepared for this because our whole school was destroyed. It will be probably under construction till 2022, and we will, us personally, we will not come back to our school because we are graduating soon, but maybe we will come to visit.
Yeah, we hope that we will come, and I don't know, we were very scared, and now we are too, because we can expect a new earthquake every day, and we don't know what will happen. But I don't know, we want to come back, but unfortunately, I think that's not gonna happen.
Thank you. We have another question from Spain coming to Croatian schools.
Once you're back at your original school, what are your future plans as an ambassador school?
Thank you. Who wants to pick this one?
As we said, we will probably not come back to our school, but we have younger ambassadors in our group, and we hope to they will
come and they will do that job instead of us when we leave.
Of course, we will try to keep in touch with them and with our teacher,
of course.
Thank you. Petrinja, do you want to add something on this one?
Well, I'm also a senior year in high school, so I won't be next year, so I won't be in this project anymore, but I hope we'll get new members that will also continue to learn about European Union, and I don't know what are the plans of our school, because at the moment we don't have school.
Thank you, Hannah. And Laya, there's a last question coming from your side, so please go ahead.
How did you feel when you saw all the support messages from fellow ambassador schools all over Europe?
Petrinja or Zagreb, who wants to take the floor?
Well, at first, we were all really scared. We didn't know how our tomorrow is gonna look like. But when we received all of the messages, it really made us feel like we're not alone, and that the help is on its way, that maybe we will come back sooner and everything is going to be okay. It rhymes, so it's true.
Well, we were all really touched, and it was really emotional for us because we didn't expect students and teachers from all over Europe to ask do we need help, or just to be supportive. And it was really surprise, and we are really thankful for that kind of support, because it's what we really needed in that moment, and we also need it now because we're still recovering from it, and it's still hard for us to get to be relaxed and to be okay with everything that's going on around us.
Thank you. It was nice to see and hear the support that you were showing to each other as ambassadors juniors, but also the ambassadors seniors of the European Parliament Ambassador School program were showing lots of solidarity among each other. Today with us is Monsieur François Huguet, EPAS coordinator from one of the French schools. He wants to share also something interesting with us. So, Monsieur François, please take the floor. are you with us?
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
I am Gladys, I am 20. I want to say to the Croatian student, we can have review. So I have a question for you. What will be important to help your Croatian friends, and what can we to do support you? Please.
Thank you. So we got a bit rescheduled. So this is a question for our Croatian schools, and hopefully Monsieur Francois will join us a bit later. So Croatian schools, did you pick up the question? So what would be important to help to provide you as a help, and how the French schools can support you?
Well, I think that the most important is to donate money to our school account, because that money will be used for construction our new school. It's we also need the workers and volunteers to help cleaning and picking up bricks in that building where our school will be located. But I know that our Croatian citizens will join us, and I hope they will help us with that.
Thank you so much too for your answer.
Would also be helpful here, but also specifically for school supplies and to help us, and money to first of all hire people who will work on the school, and then money for the supplies to rebuild the school.
So we believe this was a call to visit your official web pages, both Petrinja and Zagreb, and see about the links and contacts there. Thank you so much. We will have to say bye to our Spanish school. Bye, Valencia. It was great to have you on board today. We know you have to move on because busy times are coming, and you all, as someone said previously, want to pick a college of your choice. So plenty of work left for our Ambassador Junior still today after the session. Thank you for being with us, Spain. And now we go to France. We go to Torigny-sur-Marne. I believe you also have questions for your Croatian colleagues. Go ahead. If not, yes, can you hear us?
Yes. So our question was, which are the countries who are going to participate in the reconstruction? It is all European countries, or there are any specific countries which will help this reconstruction?
So Gornjogradska and Petrinja, would you happen to know a bit about this?
I think this is more a question for the MPs. So I will ask you another question. So as for now, it's a general question I have for the students about their future projection within the European Union. For example, which are their projection in terms of exchange programs within the European? Is there are they have this on their mind? Are they willing to come to France in the future with the COVID and all? Are they projecting themselves in future to participate in programs such as Erasmus, something like that?
So any remarks from Croatia? Petrinja, would you have anything to add? Or should we move on to our next questions? Maybe we can get some of the replies in writing after this session. I don't think it will be a problem. But now maybe Ireland, because there are actually 3 schools waiting eagerly there to ask Croatian friends about their earthquake and corona experiences. One of them is Maynooth Post-Primary School in Ireland. Do you have your question ready?
Yeah.
what are you doing for European Day in May?
Thanks for the question and for the lovely video that you recorded for our school. Petrinja and Zagreb, do you have an answer?
Our plan is to have a Zoom meeting, something like this, with other schools from Croatia, from, I don't know, Požega, Krk probably, or...
We also had connections with Osijek.
Yes, and Slavonski Brod. And
different towns in Croatia with different students.
We will also have Zoom meetings with other schools from Croatia, although most of us won't be in school anymore because we will graduate by then, I hope. Okay, we won't. But I think we will find a way to make it good for last year here. I hope that we will get chance to see other ambassadors from other schools.
Thank you, Zagreb and Petrinja. We go over to Loreto Secondary School. I believe you also have a question for your Croatian friends. Go ahead. If not, there's another school lined up waiting. Danamas College, are you there?
Yeah.
Sorry if I've mispronounced. Hi. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Dunamace College, but it's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Besides financial support, is there any other way that we could help?
So again, Petrinja and Gornjogradska, do you think there are any symbolic ways for your friends across Europe to help you?
Of course, if you can't donate, it's always nice if you share our story. Maybe somebody else could donate. You can post it on your social media or something, talk to your friends in your schools, so that other people who can help us could help us.
And it's very nice to always hear something nice from you, to don't feel alone in this situation. So it's also helpful.
Thank you.
Yes, I already sent a link, and it's about our school, and it's about donating to our school account. And in this hard situation, I think it's beautiful that we can make friendships that can last forever. And I think that the power of solidarity can change the world.
Thank you for these nice words. I was going to suggest maybe type your school's URL addresses in the chat while you're still in the Zoom. Maybe Gornjogradska could do the same thing, so you can check out more info on what's going on with the schools there for everyone, for our friends from Ireland and France, as well as Spain. So I believe we are sort of closing the session slowly. We haven't heard from our two wonderful MEPs for a while now. So if Ms. Kloon and Ms. Tolere would have some closing remarks to make, I'm sure these young people would love to hear what you have to say and, you know, leave this session inspired by your words. So
thank you. Will I speak? You can hear me?
Yes, please, Ms.
Yes, good. Thank you. Well, I think probably it's more appropriate to say that I'm inspired by the words of the students, and the ambassador program really has shown how important it is to unite people, to unite schools across Europe, and young people realize that, as has been said by our students in Petrinja and Zagreb, they know that they're not alone. And I think that was really a really important message that I got from today, and from the interaction we've just had over the last 15 minutes or so between the students across Europe, from all quarters of Europe, from Ireland, Spain, France, and of course, Croatia. We're all here to support and to reach out a hand to, both financially, and that's really, really important because you can't take away from the crisis that you're in, and money is really important, but also spiritually and emotionally, to know that you're not alone, that we do care, and that the stories you've shared with us all today will certainly be repeated across Europe. And you've done a tremendous amount of work this afternoon in highlighting the situation that you find yourselves in Croatia. And I hope that you will remember that our European friends, we're all a family, and that we're here to support as best we can. So thank you, everybody, for the invitation, for allowing me to be involved with you today. It's been a real privilege. And I really look forward to one day when this pandemic is over, to visiting Croatia once again, because it is a really beautiful country. And I'm sure we can maybe all make that commitment that we will travel, visit Croatia, and see how you're getting on, and help you wherever we can recover from the earthquake. So good luck. And as well, one important word to all those students who are finishing their studies this year: I really hope you do get the college of your choice and your dreams, because you absolutely deserve it, and what you've been through in the last number of months. Thanks, everybody, and have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to MEP Kloon. May your words become reality. I guess that's all we can add. And maybe Ms. Tolere, you would have a few words to add as well to
Yes, very
inspire us.
quickly. First of all, I would like to thank the offices of the European Parliament in Dublin, Madrid, Zagreb, and Paris for organizing this event. And thank you to all the students who talked today. And as my fellow MEP was saying, for us, it's really inspiring to see that the youth, the European youth, integrate so much the European project through its expression of solidarity. It's very important to remind that we are a land of freedom, and that all the member states, we are there united in our diversity, but in solidarity. I'm always happy to see younger people that are so curious with the European Union. It's very important to explain to you, the youth, what European is and what the European Union is doing for you. Because you are the next generation of Europeans, and to give you a hint, the massive recovery plan is named Next Generation EU. So the youth and what becomes of the European youth is at the core of the action of the MEP. We think about you a lot of time, but sometimes you don't know, because it's difficult to see the concrete application of what we are doing, especially in these times of pandemic. So be really, really sure that we are there for you. We will be there for you tomorrow to make sure that as soon as we can reopen universities and Erasmus and travel, we can do. You can finish your college and education in Europe wherever you want. And also to make sure that the European solidarity that has been expressed and shown today with the Croatian example is always better and stronger. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madame Tolere, for this really strong and empowering words in this really difficult and challenging times. At the beginning of your intervention or of your closing remarks, you mentioned European Parliament offices in Dublin, Paris, and Madrid. This is a really nice opportunity actually to hear a bit from our colleagues from these offices. So today with us are Teresa, Margaret, and Catherine. Please go ahead. You can just say hi. You can say a few words, and we will go back to Croatia to close this session down.
Hi, I'm Teresa from Madrid. I just want to say that I'm very proud to be at EPA's program, working with all of you, not only schools from Spain, as this one from La Serranía, from La Serranía from Valencia, but also all the junior students, junior ambassadors, because we really are we really have solidarity with everyone, and the proof is all the videos that we have received from many Spanish schools showing their solidarity in this situation. So thank you so much. Thank you for your solidarity, and keep strong, Petrinja and Zagreb, and we will be with you all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa. Catherine or Margaret, who wants to take the floor?
Yes, I'm Catherine from Paris office. I'm very pleased to organize that meeting with all the students and to see the solidarity between all the students in Europe. It's very amazing and very, it's a pleasure. So thanks a lot for your cooperation in this meeting.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you for your support in organizing this event. And let's go to Dublin. Margaret.
Yeah, thank you, Marco. Thank you, Andrea, and thanks to everybody who joined in. It was wonderful to be part of this event. Thank you very much to the Irish schools who took part, and to the Croatian schools, the French, the Spanish. I think it was a great opportunity for you to all connect with each other, and maybe you can pursue this a little bit further privately. And to Croatia, as some of the colleagues have said, stay strong, keep well, and we're thinking of you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Margaret. And before we close down, today it was mostly about our ambassadors juniors, but we do also have some ambassadors seniors with us today. Today with us are Ozana and Iva, our ambassador seniors from schools from Petrinja and Zagreb. Iva, Ozana, you have opportunity to say a few words as well. Who wants to take the floor first?
Can I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. At the end of this meeting, I would like to thank you all for your time and your answers, and all students and their teachers from IPAS schools from Europe and Croatia who sent us their messages of support. It really means a lot for us. But like everything in life, this will pass too, and we are convinced that we will be stronger and better persons in future, and that we will have more beautiful town and school in future. And I think the most important message of today is that we are not alone, and that really means a lot to us. So thank you all once again from Petrinja High School.
Thank you, Ozana and Petrinja. Iva?
Hello, everyone. I'm also thankful for this meeting because it shows that we are not alone, and that is always something positive. And as my students already said, we hope that we can get a new and better school with donations from all around Europe. And I want to thank all the students and teachers for participating, and members of the Parliament in this session. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Iva, and thanks so much, Ozana. We all know, all of us that work on the Ambassador School program, that you are the strong engines of the program, you, the ambassadors, seniors, along with the juniors. So yes, keep strong and be aware that we're there for you. We have just one last request from Ireland. We have Michelle and Rebecca. If they want to say a few words, we've just been tipped by Margaret that they're also in the chat. I know this is a bit of an improvisation and we're running out of time, but we do want to hear your voices. So go ahead.
Well, thanks very much for this event. It's so nice to share time with the schools across Europe. We're half in school and half online, so it's difficult for our students trying to connect outside of their classes at the moment. But this is a great opportunity and we really appreciate being invited to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you. I hear Helen is also here. if she wants to say something.
Yeah, I'm with Maynooth Post Primary School and Maynooth Community College, and it's lovely for us to be connected with all of the schools today, and especially to hear the stories from Petrinja and from Croatia. And we're very moved by your stories, and that how much you have suffered and how much you still are suffering the consequences of the earthquakes. Please be sure that we support you and that we will not forget you. And thank you to all who organized this and allowed our students to connect so meaningfully and to be real ambassadors for Europe today. Thank you.
Thanks again. I believe the session has come to a close. Thank you so much to Petrinja and to Gornjogradska for, sharing your time with us. We know it's a difficult period, but we wish the best of luck to your students going on to other life adventures. Marko and I will stay here along with the rest of the European Parliament office in Croatia, and we will be your connection to Europe and to all of the other offices. And I believe this should be enough to close our session. Of course, thanks to our MEPs who were with us today. We appreciate it very much, and we look forward to the next occasion to meet again. Maybe in person, as one of the MEPs said.
Thanks, everyone, and have a nice afternoon. Bye-bye from Zagreb.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye from Madrid. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye from Zadar.
Adios.
Je sais pas, il y en avait pas.